Hey, welcome to the second course video for the song Pet Cheetah from 21 Pilots' 2018 album Trench. I'm musically malnourished, and you're on my journey to go deep and wide in discovering new music and artists. In these videos, we do a deep dive into the lyrics and meaning behind the music. This is a very interesting and unique track, so I'm excited to see what's going on here. Let's get in, take a look. Boasting a deep but upbeat rap sound, Tyler characterizes his breaks through writer's block as a pet cheetah. The track was born of a dare from Josh to Tyler to use the playful second verse rap about a cheetah named Jason Statham. While Tyler initially struggled with the task, he eventually made a literal breakthrough and was excited to show Josh the result. That's fun. Lyrically, the song makes connections to Migraine, where Tyler describes writer's block, and Chlorine, where he similarly personifies his creative process. The energetic themes of the song amplified the duo's return from the silence of their one-year hiatus and complemented their other illustrations of it on Trench. Pet Cheetah received notable radio playability, reaching positions you can see there. It was also an amusement to fans and interviewers alike on the otherwise dark and complex album and greater discography of 21 Pilots. Yes, so we did actually a deep dive into the Trench lore and the DMA.org website. I have 2 videos on that. I think they're both around an hour and a half long. The first was me just kind of like going through the website myself with no help, which we stumbled our way through. But then the second video, we actually went through a wiki page and found all of the things hidden within there. It was nuts, dude. But anyways, those videos are both over on Patreon, so feel free to take a look at those. You still don't know his real name, do you? With Nico being the remaining letters, okay? Tyler and Josh were goofing around. Tyler made a reference to Jason Statham, saying it would never be incorporated in a song, so Josh dared him to do it. Now we can all see how that turned out. It was so random. All right. Let's see what's up here. I am on an island, no one to confide, 8 days straight, 8 hours each, and not one line. I can feel pressure start to possess my mind, so I'll take this beat. I should delete to exercise. Wow. Okay. So obviously the idea of being on an island is just like the creative process, right? Can feel isolating. 8 days straight, 8 hours each, not one line. So just working every day for 8 days and like nothing to show for it. So then you start feeling this pressure coming in, and then there's a beat that he's created that's like, this probably just shouldn't even exist. And so I guess I would assume the exercise would be just like, sometimes in the creative process, you may not come out with something to show, but that doesn't mean that the work was fruitless, right? It's exercise. It's continuing every time you put pen to paper, every time you work on the beat, you're doing something, you're adding on, even though sometimes it feels redundant, it feels fruitless. Let's see what Genius says here. The entire first verse describes Tyler's struggle with writer's block. He had shut himself away from everyone, but couldn't come up with anything. In Migraine, a song about Tyler's struggles with writing, he says, behind my eyelids, islands of violence, my mind shipwrecked, this is the only land my mind could find. I did not know it was such a violent island full of tidal waves, suicidal crazed lions. Blood running down the chin. Additionally, though it varies, 8 hours is the average recommended of sleep for an adult. Tyler has mentioned before how the night is when he struggles with his demons, thus when he works through the darker parts of songs. Tyler also creates a double entendre with the word exercise. In one sense, he's working through the throwaway beat to exercise his metaphorical cheetah. Okay, cool. And the other, exercise means driving out the pressure that is like an evil spirit possessing his mind. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, the 8 hours could be indicative of sleep. It's also like an 8-hour workday. So, could be both. No, I move slow. I want to stop time. Okay, because he feels like maybe it's taking too long to create, especially when you feel on some sort of deadline for an album release. And so you want to stop time because you're moving too slow. I'll sit here till I find the problem. The overarching theme of the song is about Tyler's writer's block and him being worried about how the album will be received. The chorus reinforces the idea that Tyler will sit and keep listening to the song until he finds a problem with it, even if it's seemingly perfect. Keep listening until he finds a problem with it. Okay, I could see that. I think I originally, yeah, until he finds see, this says finds a problem with it. Okay, yeah, that tracks. The problem is an imperfection to be found in whichever song he happens to be reviewing at the time, whether that imperfection is real or imagined. If he could have his way, he would slow or stop time in order to find these imperfections without missing deadlines. Tyler expressed this same sentiment in Migraine. I do not have writer's block. My writer just hates the clock. Tyler expresses a similar desire in a tweet from the band's Twitter account. Come out October 5th, but drop dead due date to get ahead of production and distribution and stuff is this Wednesday. Guess I've got to stop babying this little guy and let him go. Hope you catch him. It's funny. All right, into the pet cheetah. I'll keep it above my head since we're using the annotations a good bit. I've got a pet cheetah down in my basement. I've raised him and bathed him and named him Jason Statham. I've trained him to make me these beats. Now my pet cheetah's quicker in the studio than on his feet. Yeah, I'm curious about this line, quicker in the studio than on his feet, because I made a comment in the reaction about the idea of like this time that he spends writing and things, and I wasn't fully clear on what I was trying to say. I've trained him to make these beats. Now my pet cheetah's quicker in the studio than on his feet. Could just simply mean like, obviously a cheetah is much faster. Quicker in the studio than on his feet. It's not a comparison of a person on their feet than a cheetah running. It's literally just in the studio versus on his feet. I don't know. Let's see what it says here. The pet cheetah Tyler speaks of is a representation of Tyler himself, or rather Tyler as a producer. Hence Tyler teaching the cheetah to make beats. Also, Tyler does have a studio in his basement. Cheetahs move extremely fast and aren't easily controlled. In fact, they're the fastest land animal on Earth, going from 0 to 60 in a matter of seconds. Tyler raising and bathing this cheetah likely represents how he's been able to grow and develop himself as a producer and creator in general. From curating his own solo project back in 2009 to producing most of 2018's Trench itself, Tyler's been experimenting and developing music for quite a while now. This connects to the climax where Tyler notes how his cheetah is quicker in the studio than on his feet. Tyler's become so accustomed to making music that it comes naturally to him now, more natural than a cheetah's amazing speed. It's also worth noting that cats are typically perceived to hate baths. This further emphasizes Tyler's amazing feat. Not only can he tame his cheetah, but bathe it as well. Ironically enough, Tyler jokingly tweeted this as a reason for the band's hiatus since touring. Oh, I was taking a bath. That's funny. I'ma get mine and get going. I'm showing my faces in just enough places. I'm done with tiptoeing. I'll stay in my room. My house is the one where the vultures are perched on the roof. I love that line. Tyler is ridding himself from all distractions to work solely on his music, forcing himself to stay inside. He's done with tiptoeing around and procrastinating on his work. The vulture concept for Trench is based in the Zoroastrian practice of excarnation, in which corpses were placed on the roof of the Towers of Silence, the basis for Dima, for vultures to consume. Being perched on Tyler's house may be a metaphor for the pressure he feels from the newfound fame and attention his work gives him. He alludes to this in Levitate. They're smirking at fresh blood, they're circling above. This culture is a poacher of overexposure, not today. Don't feed me to the vultures. I'm a vulture who feeds on pain. Ironically, he's channeling this intimidating pressure as an inspiration to work on music. Get behind me. I bet this nepotistic mindset will help us get ours as we're growing. This click means so much to this dude, it could make him afraid of his music and be scared to death he could lose it. So yeah, like the pressure to actually create something that everyone enjoys. Get behind me. I bet this nepotistic mindset will help us get ours as we're growing. That's an interesting line. Nepotistic mindset, because obviously nepotism is like where, well, let's get an official definition, but nepotism, is the idea of getting ahead only because of your family. Favoritism toward relatives or close friends, especially by giving them jobs, opportunities, or advantages regardless of merit. Okay. Favoritism toward relatives or close friends. So I wonder if there's a connection to the clique. And if this is like a get behind me in a positive way, like back me up. I bet this nepotistic mindset will help us get ours as we're growing, because obviously as we're growing could reference the fans, the clique. And then he goes straight into it. This clique means so much to this dude. It could make him afraid of his music and be scared to death he could lose it. So yeah, I mean, if the idea is creating something for the fans, it is kind of like a nepotistic mindset. Because it's a favoritism toward the clique. Tracks with me. So it's favoritism toward the clique, his nepotistic mindset will help them get theirs as they're growing. And it's pointed toward the clique. Okay, we'll go back to the chorus. The bridge, I can feel pressure start to possess my mind. I'll take this beat I should delete to exercise. Pet cheetah. Yeah, this part got a little crazy. Cool. Okay. Man. Really interesting song. I was curious to see what it was all about. I knew it had to do with the creative process, but I wasn't 100% sure. And the neat little things in there about Jason Statham are fun as well. Well, listen, let me know your thoughts on the song in the comments. If you saw anything that maybe I missed, let's have a conversation down there. But thanks for being with me for this one. I hope to see you in the next one, because we're eating good.